So the Lions get the Packers on Thursday.
Another beauty.
The early Thanksgiving game.
Is that game, did I see, is at 1 o'clock?
I think they moved it back. It used to be 12:30. They moved it to 1 o'clock.
I was going to say, I was shocked by that when I saw
this
that.
is the game now that, you know what, maybe we find a way to eat between the two games, because that used to be you just put it on. It adds to the holiday vibe. It's the Lions on Thanksgiving. Well, the Lions are good now, and they get their Packers rivals coming to town in a game that will have massive implications on the NFC North standings. And the Packers got their win yesterday against the Minnesota Vikings, 23-6. It was close at halftime. The moment really came, and I don't know how this would have turned out.
No, but the game was...
But when Miles Price, get the hell away from the ball.
That was the whole game.
Once that becomes 17-6, here's what happens. Here's my take on J.J. McCarthy. And, I've watched 50 years of football. I'd like to think I know a little something about how the game works.
Right.
Okay? Right. He's trying too hard and he's thinking too much.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the more pressure he feels, the harder he tries and the more he thinks.
Right.
And when they get down 17-6, what happens? He's thinking too much and he's trying too hard. He doesn't just let the game come to him. Now, every once in a while, we see him slip into that 9 mode late in the game where it's still in doubt.
Yeah.
But you knock them out, you get them on the ropes, and look, I'm balancing various emotions here, but I think we've seen enough. He's just not the guy. I think we've objectively seen enough. And I know Vikings fans are going to say, oh, he's still developing. Oh, you need to give him more time. But you either have it or you don't. I mean, you either have it or you don't. You don't just wake up one day, oh, you know what? Now that I've been banged around and I've made all these mistakes and we've lost all these games, I've finally figured out how to play football in the NFL. You either have it or you don't. And he doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. And maybe he can acquire it. And maybe the way to acquire it is the Bryce Young way. Maybe he needs to take a seat. Maybe he needs to learn a little bit more. Maybe he needs less pressure. I really do think, and we've all been in this situation at one time or another, where we're trying to will our bodies to do something they can't do. We're trying to do something that goes beyond our God-given abilities. And he's achieved, hey, national champion, top 10 pick, that's fine. But the worst thing the Vikings can do is just stubbornly push forward for something that's not going to work. And I feel like all we have to do is look. It's not going to work. Hey, you tried. It's not going to work. And if you're going to be a dysfunctional team, Minnesota Vikings, what you're going to do is double down and keep trying to prove it, because you let Sam Darnold go, you let Daniel Jones go, you said no thank you to Aaron Rodgers. We have to make this. We have to ride this horse as far as we can, and we're not going to admit it. We're going to double down. We're going to triple down. We're going to quadruple down. We're going to quintuple down. We're not going to let this go. I think it's a mistake. And at some point, see what Max Brosmer can do. Let's just see what he can do. If the rest of this season is preseason for next year, we know what McCarthy can do. Let's see what the other guy can do, because we got a decision to make in 2026. Yeah, it's going to be a big decision.
I can tell you, don't waste your time. Max Brosmer is not the answer. That's not it.
But let's see what he can do.
The best thing is to see what J.J. McCarthy can do and stay patient here. You're not going to the Super Bowl. You don't want to rip bench him now. That's not what you want.
I'm curious to what the other guy can do.
I hear you. I watched enough of Max Brosmer to know he doesn't have J.J. McCarthy's talent. He's not that way. Now, J.J. McCarthy, listen, I'm not disagreeing with some of the stuff you're saying.
Also, you can't block Micah Parsons with one guy.
Well, okay.
What are you doing?
There we go. All right, you brought up Bryce Young. What does Bryce Young have? A run game that can run it when everybody knows they're going to run it. And everybody goes, well, Bryce Young's looking a little better. And I'm going to go, they ran the ball 74 times today for 900 yards. And then you wonder why he looks a little better.
Put that skull clap in there is fired.
Right. So, look, you still like the Vikings. But either way, but I hear your concerns with J.J., and it is concerning. I'm with you all the way. There's definitely a look and throws that we've discussed at length. It still is early in his career, and what I think makes it worse, too, is, he didn't get to play last year. He got hurt this year, so that hurts the development right now. And then there's the pressure of, hey, like you kind of said, Minnesota's ready right now. This is what we talked about with Aaron Rodgers all offseason and all that. That's why the talk was there. That's why Minnesota thought about Aaron Rodgers, because they looked at their team and went, we're ready right now. Do we really want to be team ready with, hey, quarterback, catch up to the team? And, of course, his injury early in the year even makes that more apparent and crazy looking right now. And then I think you throw on top of that, damn, he comes back, he gets healthy, he wins against the Lions, but then he's got to play the Ravens. And then he's got to play the Bears, who do lead the league in turnovers and creating chaos on that side of the ball. And then you play the Packers, right? So it's not necessarily the easiest teams to break back into playing again. And then he's got his own issues. And then they don't help him out a whole lot. And I think all of that, yeah, they got to play a game right now where they want to play defense, right, and keep it low scoring. That's what stunk about the muff punt, because you're going, wait, it's 10-6. This is how they win, right? Let's just stay within a score, and then maybe JJ can be, what'd you say, nine, yeah, 9 time at the end of the football game. That's what you're hoping for, and that disrupted the whole thing, and of course put them down 17-6, and they couldn't climb back in the football.
I just feel like I've seen enough, and prove me wrong. You got more chances. Got the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, great.
At Seattle.
Great.
Hey, let's go see how Sam Darnold's doing.
It is amazing.
You know, it was a Vikings game at Seattle in 2002, and they got splattered. Sean Alexander scored 13 touchdowns that day, I think. I quit the website the next day. I said, I'm done. Screw
such a
this.
baby.
Like, this thing's never going to do anything. It's never going to amount to anything. Why am I wasting my time?
No,
Vikings,
not you.
The Vikings are
Dr.
caca.
Doom.
and then, like, a day or two later, I was back at it. It's
Yeah.
like, what the hell else am I going to do? This is fun.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't expect much this weekend against the Seattle Seahawks. And that's why I thought they would win yesterday, because they've been riding this roller coaster where we can't really get a feel for them. And when they went to Detroit, we expect them to lose, and they win, and then they come home, and they got a chance against the Bears. They were favored against the Bears, and they lose. And I've seen enough, and I've said enough, and I think we need to take a careful look at, frankly, and I've yet to say this.
Right.
Got to take a look at the front office, because I don't have a whole lot of faith in the decisions they've been making in the draft. I don't have a lot of faith in the decisions they've been making in free agency. And I said, let's find out what J.J. McCarthy has, because you've already invested the 10th overall pick.
With the team and the draft and all that?
The offensive line sucks. Offensive line sucks.
They've had a few injuries.
The offensive line sucks.
Right.
That's part of the problem. And that actually favors J.J. McCarthy. But we could go year by year and look at what's happened with the Kwesi Adofo-Mensah picks. It's not a pretty picture. But they had all those wins last year, so let's give everyone extensions. Let's just go get drunk on whatever Vikings drink, and let's give everybody extensions.
Yeah, what do they drink? What does a Viking drink?
I don't know.
You don't know? Damn.
I don't know.
I thought you would know
Purple
that.
drink,
Real good.
since it's purple, right?
Yeah.
Would that make sense?
I mean, I guess so. But
it's just, it feels like something is off badly.
I hear it.
Badly.
There's concern.
And they're never going to come out and tell us what
No,
it is.
of course not.
And I go back to the offseason when, what are they going to do with Sam Darnold? Nobody knew. What are they going to do with Daniel Jones? Nobody knew. And I was digging around, and I got the impression that the people who were dealing with the Vikings from the outside, as representatives of Darnold and McCarthy, like, we don't know who's making the decision. And this gets back to, and somebody made this point to me, it's entirely possible that the Vikings are a dysfunctional organization that have a coach who is good enough to mask some of it. Mm-hmm. And, hey, Kevin accepted the extension. There was all that talk last year. He may become a coaching free agent. That was put out there week 18 by Jay Glazer. And it's funny, Nick Sirianni was in the same boat. Nobody suggested he was going to become a free agent. But that all got put out there. And he could have coached out the contract, and he could go wherever he wants. He decided to stay. Part of this is on him. There's something wrong in that organization. This is one of those teams where the owners don't live there, and they're not around as often as some other owners are. There's just something is badly off with the Vikings right now. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Well, we'll see. There is the cautionary tale of, like, hey, when you got a good quarterback, you don't just get rid of them. And they kind of had Kirk Cousins, who I know, but it was, and then last year was Sam Darnold.
You like it at Kirk Cousins?
So I'm just saying, well, listen, I know there was a lot of people in football, and I certainly think it's a fair question. And they're going, wait, they're getting rid of him with this team right now? I think there was some people that certainly questioned that. But yeah, they're in a tough spot right now. And J.J. McCarthy is going to be under more pressure than any quarterback in football down the stretch.
You know what I
here.
told you last week, and I
Right.
wrote this at PFT.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it here.
Yeah.
Mac Jones next year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. That could be Sam Darnold part 2, right? They're going to get somebody in there that's going to be like, hey, if JJ doesn't work out, we got to have somebody else, right?
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.